It says on the top of it, off air though. Is that because you're doing it now? Yeah.
We're on now.
Okay, we're on now. Then let's do it. Let's do it.
Brilliant, excellent. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Shoot the Defence, brought to you by the FNX Network and My Sports. I'm your host, Stel, and I'm joined by Mr. Yannikis. You're back. How you doing?
Not bad. Yeah.
Good, mate. Good, good, good. You look very bright today. Very colour coordinated.
I'm the Nike man tonight.
don't show your chest.
Oh, sorry. I'll try.
You're too foreign for us at the moment.
So put the viewers off.
There you go. And now joining us all the way from, you're in Leeds, aren't you, Ash?
Oh, man, I'm in Wales, mate. Wales.
Yeah, Wales. There you go. I got that one wrong. I didn't do my research. All the way from Wales is Mr. Ashley Griffith. He's a TV personality and the representative of Lucky7 Management. How you doing, mate? You good?
How you doing, mate? All right. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're good, mate. Great to have you on.
We're good. No problem, mate. No problem.
See, this is the joy of live streaming, because I obviously didn't ask you where you are at the moment, and me thinking that because you're a Leeds United fan, you being Leeds and you're in Wales.
You know what? The thing is about that, because I support Leeds, everyone assumes I'm from Leeds, but I'm actually not. Obviously, I live in Wales, so it's quite different, isn't it? So.
Well, look, there's a famous former Leeds player that actually lives in Wales, and that's Lee Trundle, friend of the show.
Oh gosh, yeah, he lives in South Wales. I forgot. Yeah, he does.
That's right. Yeah, he was a Swansea. He's a Swansea. That's right. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Funny enough, he used to play for the local team actually. Yeah.
All right. Okay. There you go. See, bit of trivia there. Nice one. Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Let's go into our football review, shall we? Let's go back. Well, the FA Cup, and they say the magic of the FA Cup is fading, but 3 shock or surprise results over the weekend blew this series out of the water, didn't it? I mean, it all began at Anfield, where Wolves, managed by a Dortmund legend, Paul Lambert, beat Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool 2-1. It took Wolves, just under a minute to take the lead, and surprise, surprise, it came from a set piece, something that you and I identified, in fact, loads of others, so I think I'd say we were the first to identify a long time ago. It's an area that Liverpool struggle with from a defensive standpoint. Now, aside from Origi's goal, mate, Wolves played the perfect game, didn't they? I mean, based on their first half performance, do you think Lambert's men were the Premier League team?
Surprised with Liverpool. Wolves were outstanding. I mean, if you want to give a championship credit to guys at Anfield, and let's face it, Wolves are not the greatest championship side. I think they're like 16th or something like that in championship. To go to Anfield and produce what they did, especially in the first half. I mean, consistently after 90 minutes, they defended magnificently, hit Liverpool on the break time after time again, created chances, fully deserved the win. And yeah, you're right, you couldn't actually tell who the Premiership team was.
It was pace on the break, though, wasn't it?
Oh, it was brilliant. The guy Costa, I think they just signed from Benfica Wolves. He was outstanding. He was taking players on. He was linking up the play. Even Weimann, he had a brilliant game. I mean, I don't want to single out them 2 players, but they were really good, and you can't knock them.
As a collective, they were absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Ash, Wolves, they've beaten 2 Premier League teams already in the Cup, and they're facing Chelsea in the 5th round. Do you think that they could make it 3 in a row? Is that too much to ask?
Saying that, the thing is, Wolverhampton Wanderers, they're a lucky side. Why I say that is because when it comes to cup games, you know Wolves are always going to want to win the big teams regardless. I mean, fair enough, they're struggling in the Championship, and that's due to obviously the financial situation that they've got going on there, selling all their best players as well. Do you know what I mean? But to see Wolves play the way they have against Liverpool, to play against all these big teams in the FA Cup, I think personally they can go a long way. I mean, the last 16, you wouldn't expect someone like Wolves to be in the last 16. Do you know what I mean? But I think they've got a strong team, especially on home soil. They're not good at home. I'll admit that. The home form is terrible. Literally, it's so terrible. But when they play away, they play to the utmost strength. Do you know what I mean? They play really good football away. And I think, do you know what? I think they can do well. I think if they win in the next round, I think they can possibly go all the way. But again, like you say, it's the magic of the cup. Anyone can win. I mean, look at Sutton. Look at Sutton versus Leeds United. You know, you expect Leeds, who are a big club history-wise, you expect them to fly through the FA Cup, especially against lower league teams who aren't even existing, that you never even hear of. Do you know what I mean? And I watched it, and I was gutted. Obviously, I was gutted about the result because I'm a Leeds fan. But Sutton United, give them credit, they played absolutely brilliant that day. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. The thing is, when you look at Jurgen Klopp at Dortmund, he expected his team to run a collective 120 kilometers per game. And I think that was happening at Liverpool till, say, January, or should I say the beginning of this month. And it just seems now that people are criticizing his tactics, but surely his demands, and, you know, I'm talking about energy levels, intensity, that should be questioned first and foremost. I mean, what do you think is going wrong at Anfield?
Players are knackered. The high intensity of the Premiership, you can't kind of sustain it over a season or a long period of time. Mane's been a big loss as well to them. They rely heavily on Mane with his pace and stuff. And he came back and played tonight. Was on the bench. But the players are just tired. I mean, you can't expect players to run, 100, miles an hour, 90 minutes a game. It's not going to happen. And Liverpool rely on the high intensity, the pressing. They press a lot from the front, from midfield to forward. And if you 2-3 yards short of the pace, you get found out by teams. And this is what's happening at the moment.
The thing is, I mean, this is the way I see it. It's no coincidence that this time last season, and even this season, Coutinho came back from a lengthy injury. Yeah. Now, when you look at someone like Coutinho, with the greatest respect, he's not a big guy. He's small, he's nimble, he's not going to like a physical game. But when you're expected to run 11, 12 kilometers a game, right, it's going to take its toll on him. Personally, I think his body can't contain with it. He can't deal with the intensity. And that goes with the same with a lot of other players like Danny Ings. Yeah. This is the second long-term injury he suffered. Yep. Sturridge, constantly injured. I mean, most common injuries since Klopp took over are hip, thigh, and hamstring. So what does that say about his training methods and, as I said, the intensity of what he expects from the team? I think
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I mean, Jurgen Klopp, he's always been an attacking-minded manager. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
Injury-prone players, maybe it is the actual making them injured. Do you know what I mean? I mean, look at the previous managers. There's never been many injuries in the last management team. Do you know what I mean? And since Jurgen Klopp's come in, I think he's created this attacking style of football to the point where it's too much. Like you're saying, it's too much for the players. Do you know what I mean? So,
I mean, like, Sturridge is scared to run these days. He's scared that he's going to pull another hamstring or something. He just doesn't look the same player anymore. I think that the injury
doesn't look the same player. He doesn't look the same player.
No, not at all, Ash. No, he's lost that kind of explosive pace that got him beyond defenders. And since he's got a lethal left foot, a lot of kind of defenders have started to suss him out a lot more, and he's a lot more easier to mark because he's lost that 1 or 2 yards of pace.
But the thing is, I don't think it's just down to Sturridge. Obviously, when you look at their front line, you've got Coutinho, Firmino, Origi, Lallana. All these players, they're interchangeable. Yeah. One will go wide left, one will go wide right. They swap positions and whatnot, but they're not doing it so much now. And I've noticed that the movement is just so static, by which it's all sideways passing. If you look at their goals today, and even if you look at the goals against Swansea, the goal against the Wolverhampton Wanderers, the balls are just coming from wide. It just seems like they're delivering balls in the box, but there isn't that movement. Perhaps Mane is a bigger loss than we all assume because of the fact that he does create spaces because of his movement and whatnot. But again, as I said, I just think these players are tired. Yeah, they're not able to run 11, 12, 13 kilometers a game, and that's taking its toll throughout the season. And as I said earlier, they can do it from August to January because it's non-stop, it's frenetic. But what happens next season if they're in the Champions League? Their squad is paper thin. Yeah, it really is.
And considering that them and Chelsea have had kind of the least games this season as well, haven't they? So it's surprising.
Absolutely. We never know. We never know what's around the corner.
No, you're right with that. You're right with that thing about Chelsea, though. I mean, if you look at when Brendan Rodgers was there, you had the Suarez, you had Sturridge. They were the main strikers in that season, right? They were both scoring goals for fun. As soon as Suarez gets sold for Liverpool, as soon as Brendan Rodgers leaves, Jurgen Klopp comes in. There has to be something that he's doing, as well as what you say with the high intensity attacking style football that he's created at Liverpool. And that though, is he getting on with the players? Do they not like the way his style is? You never know. It's always down to either the training or it's the lack of communication that he has between him and the players. Do you know what I mean?
I agree with that. Okay, so Lincoln City's 3-1 against Brighton would have been shock of the round had it not been for Sutton's 1-0 victory over informed Leeds. Now, I think the words organised and playing the game, not the occasion, spring to mind when describing the non-league team's performances, but the Sutton scoreline didn't mirror their performance. While Lincoln took Brighton apart second half, you've got to give credit to both of them, surely.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I call them upsets more than shocks these days due to the fact of teams playing lesser kind of players in the FA Cups. But, I mean, Lincoln wasn't, even though Brighton are kind of flying in the Championship, Lincoln wasn't so much a surprise for me because Lincoln are top of the, you know, of the conference. So I've seen a bit of Lincoln this season, and they're a good side. You know, they beat Ipswich the previous round as well, and that wasn't so much of a surprise, but Sutton was. I mean, Leeds are, you know, I think they were third or fourth before tonight. I think Reading won tonight, and Leeds have gone fourth. But that was a surprise, you know, especially with Leeds' tradition over the years in the FA Cup. They're a big club, Leeds, as well, too. But you can't undermine. It's the beauty of the FA Cup still, even though for me it's lost its magic over the years. But two results like that, you know, fair dues to both clubs.
Ash, listen, being a Leeds fan, I'm sure you don't want me to be bringing up the Sutton game, but I noticed that there wasn't much anger or animosity towards Gary Monk and the players after the game. I mean, is it because, you know, it's more of a case of we would rather get promotion than have a cup run, first and foremost?
Definitely. I mean, you look at the way Leeds have been playing in the Championship all season. They had a bad start to the season. They managed to get a good couple of few players in, which you've noticed, and from there he's absolutely gelled the team together. I mean, it's his first season as a manager. I mean, Gary Monk, he was at Swansea, did well at Swansea City. He's come into Leeds with the financial situation, with a lot of bans, hearing it with, you know, with the controversial like owner and stuff like that. Like he's settled in. He's really settled in. And the thing what I like about Gary Monk as well is he knows how to you know, he knows how to gel with the players. He knows how to fit the young lads in, especially with the experienced players as well. And I think it works. I think it really works. I mean, but obviously going back to the FA Cup, like you were talking about, I think you could see on the day it was all under 21 players. You know, he made a statement at the end of the match. He said that he'd made a big mistake in obviously putting in the reserves. But at the end of the day, you're playing in the FA Cup. Everybody knows that the FA Cup is one of the biggest cup football clubs in English football. Do you know what I mean? But like you say, with the upset, Sutton, in fairness, they deserved it. I mean, they were the underdogs. We knew that they were the underdogs. Do you know what I mean? And with them being at home as well, you expect it to be an advantage. But like you say, with Leeds being an informed side, I've gone on and maybe won that, maybe 2-3-0. But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. And again, Sutton United, they played some creative football. Like, I mean, I watched it on the TV. I didn't go to the game personally, but you could see how sluggish Leeds were. I mean, they say it was down to the pitch. Obviously, with them being a non-league football team, they have a 3G pitch. Now, you look at the bigger clubs, they all have proper grass football. Do you know what I mean? So they say that it's kind of, that's the excuse that they use, isn't it? We can't play on a 3G pitch, or we can't play on a certain style. Do you know what I mean? But you look at like Leeds United, big club, they've got a good training ground. And yet again, I sussed this out as well. They have a 3G pitch. They train on a 3G pitch. So there's no excuse for them to turn around and say, well, do you know what I mean? Because they shouldn't have. Certain outplayed us, and I'll admit that. They outplayed us, and they deserve everything. So there you go.
Ash, how do you feel about Gary Monk? Because, you know, as you said, he came with this big reputation from Swansea. He was unfairly sacked, in my opinion, anyway. When you look at all these managers that Chiellino's got rid of in the past, like your Neil Redfern, Steve Evans, Uwe Rosler, Darrow Milanic, when you got someone like Gary Monk there, it's surely got to galvanise the players and give the fans a lift. Definitely.
You know what? Since Gary Monk has actually come into the club, I think he's done a terrific job. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, he had Swansea sacked him for nothing really. I mean, he got him to the highest place in the Premiership. I think it was it 8th? I think it was.
Right.
You know, he had a bit of a bad spell, but at the end of the day, he could have seen that out, and then maybe through the summer, he could have had a transfer kitty. He could have brought in his own players. He could have, you know, gelled the team the way he had done anyway previously, but obviously he wasn't given a chance. And obviously Massimo Chiellino, obviously at Leeds United as the owner, he's brought in Gary Monk at Leeds, and he's off to a flying start. You know, he's brought in some quality players. He's even brought in a couple of Swansea players. Now, you see, the Swansea players, they've worked well. They've worked well since they've come into Ellen Road. Do you know what I mean? But I think the fans as well, including myself, like, we've got a lot of faith in Gary Monk. You know, he's kept 6 clean sheets at home. We've won 6 home games in a row. The form at the minute is unbelievable, and the spirit between the squad as well is really good. But like you say, like, Gary Monk, I think he's done really well. Like, I think he's a great manager. He just needs to be given time. And the thing is, with Leeds' past management as well, like Neil Redfern, Darko Milivich, Juve Rossi, they weren't given a chance. And this is the problem that Leeds had. Since the new owner came in, he didn't give anyone a chance. It was here and there. Like, you play 8 games, you're sacked. You play 12 games, you're sacked. You play 5 games, you were sacked. But in fairness, he's done really well this season. Like, Gary Monk's off to a flying start. He's been given a chance to bond with his players. He's been given a chance to put his input into the squad as well. Like, he's given a chance to have his say in what he needs to do. Do you know what I mean? For Leeds to get promoted, you need to have that stability regardless.
No, I agree. And you mentioned stability right there and team spirit earlier. You got the likes of Rob Green, new lease of life at the club. Bartley and Janssen have been absolutely fantastic at the heart of the defence. And Chris Woods, I mean, he's in the form of his life. 9 points off the top isn't a huge gap when you consider that, we're at a certain point of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Have I lost you there? I think it was still there. Yeah, it was still there. Yeah, no, like you're saying, Chris Wood, I mean, unbelievable. I mean, he scored 20 goals already this season in all competitions. Now, last year, he was injured. Last year, he was injured beyond. Like, he struggled last season. But that, again, you know what it is? It was down to the mentality of the players, of the owners. Like, last year was bad enough as it was this year. Do you know what I mean? Like, Leeds, I think Leeds struggled on the pitch and off it as well, especially with what was going on with and everything else, and obviously sacking and bringing in different managers all the time. Because when you bring in different managers, it's always going to change the way the tactics are. Do you know what I mean? But this season, I mean, Chris Wood, Carl Bartley, Pontus Jansson, for me, them 3 are the most standout players, probably in the Championship this season. I mean, credit to Brighton and Newcastle, they're doing really well. But I think with how Leeds are playing at the minute, like you say, there's a 9-point gap, you said, between the top 2. So, if we win tomorrow, we close it again to 6. I think personally, there's a huge chance that Leeds could possibly get automatic promotion, depending on how Newcastle and Brighton play. Do you know what I mean? But like you say, Chris Wood is on fire. 20 goals this season already. I mean, that's unbelievable. Second in the top scorers list as well. I mean, Dwight Gale is on 26, 27 goals. There's a possibility that he could even catch up. So who knows? We'll see.
Exactly. Absolutely. You gonna say something?
Well, Dukara scored one of the goals of the season for Leeds.
We all know that Dukara's goal was
so I just wanted to mention
shades of Tony Yobel.
Oh, it was
unbelievable.
Yeah. Absolutely.
See, the thing is, you mentioned Dukara there as well. You mentioned Dukara. For me, I don't personally like the player, but I don't think he does enough. I mean, to score a goal the way he did last week was, it was just, I think it was a spur of the moment thing. He just got in there and hit it. Do you know what I mean? He was lucky. But I mean, he's a player that I do and I don't like. He's quite a sluggish player, but when, like you've seen, when he gets into the right space, he can hit a ball into the net. You've seen it. Do you know what I mean?
He's done a lot, isn't he, Ash?
But yeah, I think it's a good season. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a good season for us. Even if we don't get promoted, I think next year we can probably, maybe if we're lucky, we can probably win the league, definitely.
Well, if the chairman stays out of the club's affairs, you'll be fine.
If he's not worried fingers crossed. So
if he's not worried about unlucky numbers and that kind of voodoo stuff that he I don't know. Anyway. Well, Arsenal and Manchester United cruised into the next round after pounding, bullying, beating up, whichever word you want to describe, Southampton and Wigan respectively. Now, Wenger and Puel, they rung the changes. I think Southampton made 7 or 10 changes from the Liverpool game. I think only 4 players were senior. Were you surprised that Puel decided to only play 4 senior players?
Yes. Especially after midweek when they got to the final, you would have thought confidence would be up, take it to the next game, big game again with Arsenal. Basically, he just said, I'm not bothered about the FA Cup. The League Cup's a priority because I'm in the final, and let's just give Arsenal a bye. That's the way I saw it. I mean, it was like, was it 4 or 5 youngsters against experienced Arsenal players. I mean, I don't know what Pure was thinking. I mean, he could have mixed it up with a little bit more experience, bring the younger players in. Now, what he's done is, for me personally, he's blooded all the younger players with not a lot of experience. You could kill the younger players, you know, especially with a performance like that. You know, 5-0, what's that going to do to the players' confidence? You know? What is Pure going to say to them? Oh, lucky guys, we'll go again next game.
After the game, he said, "Oh, I take full responsibility."
That's what you should.
But at the end of the day, you're playing against Arsenal, and even if it's a second or third string Arsenal team, they're going to have international players.
And also, for me, it's cheating the fans. The fact that people pay their money, you know, for me as a fan, if I supported Southampton and I went and saw that team, I might as well go home. You know, what's the point? You know, all the big players are sitting at home doing what? On an FA Cup game against Arsenal, live on the telly. For me, I think it's disrespectful. That's my opinion.
Point. Well, look, Theo Walker got a hat-trick. You know, he returned to the lineup the best way possible. This is a question to both of you. I mean, I can't actually think of an explanation as to why he hasn't had at least one memorable season in the 10 he's been at Arsenal. It just seems that he's just gone sideways. I haven't seen a massive improvement on the player. Every year it's always going to be Theo's year. He has 5 or 6 decent games in a row, then he gets injured and whatnot. What is going on with this player? Is he another case of how Liverpool are with, you know, the intensity and whatnot, the training? What do you reckon?
It's difficult with Phil. It's like what you said. He gets into a run where he can go 6-7 games. He scores nearly every game, and and then he gets a bad injury, like you said, and then it kind of. He's not progressing. It's always stop-start with him. The fact that he's not, this might be like a criticism. For me, he's not the greatest of footballers. For me, if I was an Arsenal manager, I'd play him up front. With his pace, he'll be absolutely devastating up front. That's my opinion about Phil Walcott. Over the years, obviously, he's always played on the right, and because he's kind of got that pace, a lot of defenders can stand a couple of yards away because he ain't got that much of ability to beat a man. It gets predictable. Whilst up front, a bit like Michael Owen. Michael Owen was the greatest player, but with his pace, he caused problems. That's why I think Walcott should play. That's my opinion.
What do you reckon, Ash? What is it about Theo Walcott? Why hasn't he?
I agree with what he's. I agree with what he was saying. I mean, Theo Walcott, we all know that he's got a bit of pace behind him, regardless. Like he's the type of player that you could probably play in a 4-3-3, but maybe drop in as well up front. Because of the pace that he has, and I mean, you've seen some of his goals over the last couple of seasons. He's scored some fantastic goals, but I just don't think he fits in that midfield role with the likes of Sanchez and whoever else is in that midfield. Do you know what I mean? But I think Theo Walcott, he's like you say, he's had his seasons where he's been absolutely phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? Like even at England as well. But I think he's at his peak. And with Arsene Wenger bringing in different types of players, I don't think that Theo Walcott fits in with them. I really don't think he fits in with them. I just think he's someone that you play in a game now, regardless, even if it's like in the starting 11 or as a sub. I just think he fits in up front. I think he shouldn't be in the midfield anymore because, like you say, he scores goals and he'll destroy teams, especially defenses of most of these teams. He's for me, He's now the type of player that I would have up front, 100%, definitely. He'd be the type of player that I'd have up front anyway. I
mean, Phil strikes me as the perfect super sub. I know, they might think, well, Walcott, but imagine that, 15-20 minutes to go.
He's a game changer. He's a game changer.
Teams are tired, especially with Arsenal's pace. Hit teams on the break. Walcott is your man, and could be a weapon that Arsenal maybe might want to produce in the future,
I don't think Wenger wants him to be an impact player, though. I think he wants him to be the player that they've signed him to be, and that's effectively the next Thierry Henry, and that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen.
No.
Never. There's only going to be one Thierry Henry for a start. And let's be 100% honest, I can't think of an English player that will ever be that good, to be fair. But that's just my opinion there. Whatever.
But then again, saying that about Theo Walcott, you look at Danny Welbeck. Like how he played in the cup the other day, he played absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. But he's another one. He's another player whereby he will have 8 or 9 very good games, and you'll get an injury, and then it's back to square one again. It's like, well, Danny Welbeck, I didn't even realise that he played for Arsenal. So Anyway,
he's actually the games he's played for them, he's done all right.
Yeah, he has.
So,
yeah, but that's what you know what you're going to get from Danny Welbeck. You know, he could play wide left, wide right. He will chase ball down. You know, he's a good goal scorer. The only criticism I have, apart from the injuries, is that he's one of these strikers where if he has time to think, he'll fluff his lines. Yeah. He acts on instinct.
Yes, I agree.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, look, it wasn't a happy return to Old Trafford for Warren Joyce, although until Fellaini's goal, the game looked pretty even. Fine margins, all right.
Dire first half for United. I mean,
Kieran O'Donnell with Danny.
To put it politely, it was one of the worst first halves I've seen for a while. Well, actually, against Hull was probably even worse, but it's another story. I mean, the quality in the end paid off. The first goal kind of, you know, just before half-time killed Wigan, really, and the second came quite early in the second half, so contest gone. United overall deserved to win, but it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at all.
I agree. And Ash, Martial, he kissed and made up with Mourinho after being sent to Paris after throwing a strop for not being in the starting lineup against Stoke or not even being in the squad. He was rewarded with a place in the team. Now, if he gets his attitude right, mate, how important can he become to United?
No, I shouldn't be talking about Man United. Obviously,
I should be, man.
We've been talking about these, but you know what? Anthony Martial, right? He's a player that I admire. This is so. Even if whoever he plays for, even if it's not United, even whoever he plays for, they're lucky to have a player like him. I think obviously the controversy that he's had with Jose Mourinho is obviously caused, you know, a lot of problems with the media and everything else, because obviously the media make it worse as what it is. Do you know what I mean? But they've got a fantastic player. Man United have got a fantastic player, and Anthony Martial, if he has a good game, he's guaranteed he'll score goals. He is prolific. He's absolutely prolific, and even for the money that they spent on him, was 100% worth it. I think he just needs to I think he needs to get his head down now. I think he needs to try and avoid what's going on around him, especially with the press as well, and with Mourinho itself, and just play as many games as he can and just prove to everybody what a fantastic player he is, because he's got it in him at such a young age as well. So
the thing is, Mourinho hasn't been wrong about Martial though. You know, the fact that he's left him out in games, was not, you know, put him in the squad, it's due to his performances. It's not that don't like you, Martial, I'm not putting you in the squad today. It's you know, against Liverpool, was it Alexander, the right back, the young 18-year-old kid? He couldn't beat him. You know, in the first half, he had the mare against him. So Mourinho's probably thinking, you know, you've got an 18-year-old kid, Old Trafford, Liverpool, one of the biggest games of the season. You've not done it. Well, you know, what does Martial expect to do? Be rewarded again and play that game? Especially where United have got a lot of competition in wide areas for the same position. So, for me, Mourinho's decisions on Martial have been justified. If he plays well, scores goals, he's going to play. So, for me, there's no issues there.
I think if you are a Man United fan, follow Beyond the Pitch and watch their show on YouTube with Phil Brown and Martin Warwick. They do a weekly Man United show, and they said the other day that the issue with Martial and Mourinho wasn't Martial's ability. That's never been in any question. It's his application. Mourinho's questioned his energy levels. He's questioned his determination. He's questioned his team ethic. He doesn't like tracking back. We knew this anyway. The thing is, Martial threw a bit of a strop. It's been an ongoing thing because of the whole number thing, which is stupid. But as I said, they've kissed and made up, and they can move on. The thing is, I'm not a fan of Jesse Lingard, as you know, right? I don't agree with the dancing and all that kind of cheerleader nonsense. It's pathetic. But I can see why Mourinho plays him.
Because of his work rate.
Because of his work rate, because he puts in a shift. And, he does a few silly things, but it's the age, it's the inexperience and whatnot. But you can see why he plays him ahead of Martial. He's not a better player than Martial. It's just that he does the job.
To the team.
Not just that. Look at Ashley Young, another. He's the model pro as far as I'm concerned. Forget the diving, which is another thing. But you know, he's happy to do a job. He comes in, play right back, play left back, play up front. He'll do that job for you, and that's what Mourinho likes, and that's why he rewards players like Fellaini, because Fellaini will give you 110%. Do you know what I mean? So that's my interpretation of things, on it. But let's talk about tonight's Premier League results, because to be 100% honest with you, I wasn't actually planning on talking about Premier League results. I just didn't know that they were coming tonight. But you know, we saw Liverpool draw 1-1 against Chelsea. Ash, what has this result done to the Premier League, or you know, where the titles could be headed? Has it made any difference to you, in your opinion?
Do you know what? I don't think it has. I don't think it has at all. I think the way Chelsea have been playing the last few games, I think they're still going to, I believe they're still going to win the league, regardless. I mean, look at Liverpool, they've had a bad run at the minute, you know, they lost to Southampton in the Cup. They lost again in the FA Cup as well. I mean, this game was quite important for them to maybe, you know, put themselves in a position where, look, we won a Champions League spot this season, no matter what. Do you know what I mean? But I think Liverpool surprised me. Liverpool really surprised me. I mean, we all know that they start off great, and then towards the second half of the season, they always lack a certain something, and I don't know what it is that's actually missing. Is it like you were saying before? Is it to do because they're tired? What, I don't know what it is that's going on in Liverpool's minds right now. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, judging from tonight's game, Chelsea should have won. In all fairness, they should have won. They played some great football, as you see they've been doing the last couple of games. Chelsea at the top. It's hard to judge a team that has been in form and has come out of form. Do you know what I mean? So you can't really. It's hard to explain.
No, I completely understand what you mean, mate. The thing is, with Chelsea weren't at their best tonight, and they still could have won.
Yeah. Still got a result at a big club.
Well, there was that penalty miss.
It was.
You know, the
penalty at the end as well.
That's right. So it just seems that it's down to Chelsea whether to throw it away as opposed to someone catching up with them. Because let's be honest, Liverpool are their nearest challengers, and if Liverpool are going to keep playing like this, you know, they're obviously going to get overtaken. Spurs are going to come into it, but again, Spurs drew tonight at Sunderland, and again, I'm sitting there thinking, hang on, David Moyes brought in a couple of players that raised a few eyebrows to say that he brought in Lescott recently. He's brought in the two fellas. He brought Gibson and Oviedo. It looks as if he's doing a half Everton, half Man United team, you know. But can he dig them out of the mire? Because when you're looking at Swansea, who won tonight, Burnley don't look like they're going to be dropping down places. Palace won. There's pressure on Sunderland. Yeah, big pressure.
I don't know if they've got enough without Defoe's goals. I mean, again, Defoe didn't score tonight. Sunderland didn't score. All right, they kept the clean sheet, which is important. Again, it's a great result for Sunderland tonight. Yeah. You know, Tottenham at home. I just don't think they've got enough to stay up. And Ichibi's out for 3 months as well.
That's right.
So, I don't know. I think Sunderland will go this year.
I think you know what I think Sunderland will go down this year as well. Yeah. I think with Swansea, I mean Swansea bringing in a new manager. I mean, look at Swansea's form; they've been playing pretty well the last couple of games. You know what I mean? I think Swansea are safe. This is I could even bet on that. I think Swansea will make it, and I think Hull will go down. I think Sunderland will go down, and you know, Sunderland are that club though, but Sunderland are that team that will. You know, they've been meaning to go down for years. I think Sunderland are at that stage now where they need to come down. You know, reinvest in a squad, get rid of the crap, you know, the crap players, and then start reinvesting in good players. Because Sunderland, they're a good side, but the problem is, like you say, they brought in Jody Lescott from Aston Villa, who I don't really rate anymore. I mean, I don't think he's as good as a player that he used to be as a defender. Do you know what I mean? Jermaine Defoe, he can score goals, but I just don't think he has the capacity of players to help him score the goals. Do you know what I mean? I think they're struggling. I think they're really struggling this year.
His signings have been questionable. I mean, I can understand why he's brought in the players he has done because he's worked with them before, but he worked with these players 4 or 5 years ago. Let's be 100% honest. They're not the same players. They're not the kind of players that will dig you out of a hole as well. And again, I'd be very concerned if I was a Sunderland fan because, as you mentioned, when Defoe doesn't score, Sunderland don't score. Now, if, as you said, Anichebe's out, they're looking at Ulloa. Now, this is a player that has basically gone on strike at Leicester because he was made promises by Ranieri. So you're leaving a Champions League club to possibly go to Sunderland, where you could be back in, we could be back in the Championship. He may be a good signing if it happens, that is, because we've still got a few hours left. We've got about 20 minutes left, haven't we? Because it shuts at 11, doesn't it? But at the same time, again, without Defoe's goals, Sunderland are going to struggle, and I can see them going down. I can't see how they're going to stay out. I can't see Januzaj digging them out of a hole. I can't see Brini digging them out of a hole. I can't see Ndong.
Kazri.
The list goes on. This squad, and look, they spent £10 million on Gilly Bodji. I'm sorry. For me,
I know. I thought the same. I thought,
that's career suicide for Moyes, as far as I'm concerned. You know, but
he's banned for 4 games as well, isn't he?
That's right. Yeah,
for the punch in the previous game.
That's right, yeah. But the thing is, one team I thought that was going to be sucked into the mire are Watford.
What result
And
tonight?
they turned up.
They result tonight against Arsenal.
Oh, fantastic result.
But see, this is the thing with Arsenal. I said this weeks ago, before they lost against Everton. They were only, because they were on a big unbeaten run, and I said they're only one bad result away from capitulation. And I'd like to know how many games they've won how many league games they've won since the Everton game. Because they lost to Everton, they lost to City, they drew at Bournemouth, they beat Palace, didn't they?
They beat Palace, they beat Burnley in the 98th minute.
Swansea. They took them apart.
Yeah.
But tonight they've lost, and again,
and they got Chelsea on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right.
It's lunchtime.
That's right. I don't want to make this into like an Arsenal bashing show, but let's be 100% honest. When you've got the players there and the strength in depth that they have, they should be in a better position. Absolutely. As far as I'm concerned.
Even last year as well, they should have won the league.
They should have won the league last season, 100%. When they beat Leicester, they should have gone on to win the league. But Watford, credit to them, Ash. I mean, look, it's not very often you see teams scoring at the Emirates. They're only scoring twice. They scored 2 in the space of 3 minutes.
I know.
What would this result do to them?
Watford, you know what? Watford, I like Watford. I think they've got a fantastic team. You know what I mean? I think they played. I think the problem is with Watford is they don't get enough credit. I know they struggle sometimes, but when they play, they can upset teams. Like they've beat Arsenal, they've beat Liverpool in the past. You know, they can do it. I honestly think that Watford need to be given enough credit because they don't get it enough. I don't think. And you know,
Man United at the start of the season as well.
And Man United again. See, they beat Man United as well. So I think Watford are capable of staying in the Premiership. But like I said before, they need to invest in some good money. I mean. Let's move on to Leicester City. Leicester City, they won the Premiership last season, and now they're near enough at the bottom of the league. you see what I mean? It can happen to anyone. I mean, Watford though, tonight's game. I mean, I didn't watch it, but from what I've heard, the result, I've heard that Watford plays some fantastic football at Emirates as well.
They lost to Ghana.
Like you said before, not many.
That's right.
And you said before, not many score at Arsenal. So.
Yeah, exactly. See, the thing is, Ash, I hate to bring this up again, but you know when Leeds got relegated, you had the likes of Harry Kewell, you had, your Alan Smiths, your Vidukas. It just seemed that there wasn't any, not backbone, but it just seemed that there was the team spirit wasn't there. But then when you look at the teams at the bottom of the table now, and I'm looking at Swansea, who again digging results out of nothing, and players like Sigurdsson and Llorente are just coming out at the front now to say, right, we're gonna grab these games by the scruff of the neck. And you look at Hull City, who got United, but they've made some shrewd signings, even though they've let Snodgrass go. It's going to be so tight at the bottom. But when I look at the teams like Middlesbrough, who scored once at home in the past 3 or 4 games, I'm looking at them and thinking, you guys are going to be in big trouble because I can't think of one match winner in that team. One player that's going to, again,
Well, Negredo got their goal tonight, didn't it? And that was a penalty.
Right.
I worry for Middlesbrough. And the reason why I worry for the Middlesbrough, it comes down to the manager. He slated the fans last week, and then he had a go at Gibson, the chairman, for not signing players. Now,
I was listening about, didn't they sign Jordan Rhodes? Didn't they sign
Rudy Gestede? The players he wanted now.
He signed Rudy Gestede.
But he sold Rhodes tonight to Sheffield Wednesday for 10 mil. So
yeah, I think he's gone.
He's gone. Wednesday, that's right.
That's a great signing.
Yeah, he had the mold, and Karanka did that last year. If you remember, he threw a strop in one of the games, and he didn't turn up, and he made up.
Wasn't there a report that he actually resigned before?
Yeah, that's right.
Or something?
That's right. Yeah. And then reinstated or whatever it was, and Middlesbrough don't score goals, and you don't score goals in this league, as we know. They're always going to ship him Middlesbrough. I think they're one of the teams for me that will go down this year.
Definitely, I think you're right there. I think the bottom 3 to go out this year will have to be Sunderland. 100%, it has to be Sunderland. Hull City, another team, they're probably on the way out as well. And Middlesbrough, Middlesbrough, or maybe even Palace. Palace won tonight, but they're at the bottom, aren't they? You know what I mean? So it's a hard, like you say, the bottom 3 is always tight, especially towards the end of April, May time. There's always probably like 3 or 4 points in it at the bottom.
Palace stay up because of Allardyce, just because of that.
Allardyce is he's poor, man. I don't rate Allardyce.
You don't?
You don't?
I don't think he's as good as a manager that he was many years ago. Especially like I think he was much better at Bolton. If I'm honest, he was much better at Bolton Wanderers. And you know, he did well with Bolton, but I think he's lost it now. I mean, a chance at England. Do you know what I mean?
I think he's very underrated.
See, that's the thing with managers like Allardyce and Pulis. They're good for the new manager bounce in the sense that they'll come in, they'll galvanise the team, they'll keep them up, and then they'll try and build on it. The problem is they can only go so far. There's like a ceiling with them. Yeah. And the same with Pulis. He went to Stoke, did a fantastic job, got them promoted, but he only took them so far. Same goes with West Brom. You can see he's trying to bring in a few players and, you know, make a few adjustments here and there, but they're only going to go so far. The same is going to happen with Palace. They're not going to win cups, but as long as they stay in the league, that's the main priority. Yes. That is the main priority. It's TV money as well. Let's be 100% honest. But let's quickly talk about deadline day because
I'm actually looking at the tables now, and I'm actually looking at the league table now. You've got Hull City bottom of the league. You've got Sunderland, and you've got Palace as well. Palace are in there as well in the relegation battle. So it just goes to show, you know, Swansea. With Swansea winning tonight, they're out of it. They're 2 points out of the relegation zone. Do you know what I mean? But it's anyone's battle, I think. It's anyone's battle. Anyone can go down, I think, in the Premiership. Problem is the Premiership, it's a hard league. We all know it's a hard league to try and stay in. Do you know what I mean?
When you look at deadline day and, you know, all the transfer that's happening today, when you see everything, all these players moving here and there, like Jordan Ayew's left Villa to go to Swansea, and as you mentioned, you know, Jordan Rhodes, and then you've got Gabbiadini coming to Southampton. What does it say about these Premier League teams who wait until the last minute? I mean, should Premier League teams be buying players on deadline day? Surely they should have done all their business in the summer. No,
the bigger clubs usually.
You're right.
Go on, Ash.
I do you know what it is with the January transfer window? They don't have many options. There's never hardly any options to buy players, either because they're already playing, or the squads, you know, it's full. The squads are full. But this is the thing with big clubs like Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United. You'd expect them to do their business in the summer and make sure that they get everything done in the summer. Do you know what I mean? You don't leave at last minute. And that's the problem. I think the bigger teams, they play well throughout the season. And obviously they get a few players injured. But I don't think January is the perfect opportunity for them to say, look, right, we've got a few players injured here. Let's just dip into the market and see who we can get at a good bargain. Do you know what I mean? I think maybe they should stick with. I mean, they've all got big players in the squads. I mean, you look at some of the reserve players. I mean, give them a chance. Give them a chance to shine. What's the harm in giving other players a chance to shine? Do you know what I mean? I'm sure they can come out of the reserves and point. I mean, I've seen it in the past. You mentioned Januzaj. You mentioned Januzaj earlier. That's Sunderland. When he was at Man United, he played really well. I think he just didn't give it. Like, you know, he didn't get given a chance. You need experience, obviously, to build a team around the young players. Do you know what I mean? But I think if you've got that experience with them young players, they shine. I think they produce better talent. Do you know what I mean? But I think January. The January window is, for me personally, I don't think it's the right time to do business. I think they should just stick with what they've got. You know, you analyze what they've got and use maybe a couple of fringe, like, you know, even fringe players as well. Like, send them out on loan, no problem. You know, the ones that aren't doing as well. I mean, look at Patrick Bamford, Chelsea. He's on loan now. Do you know what I mean? You got the likes of Tom Lawrence, who's at Ipswich. Played absolutely brilliant. I mean, he scored 4 goals in the last, was it 3 games or something like that? You know what I mean? Players like that. And I think that the summer business needs to be done in the summer business. Get it all out of the way. Do you know what I mean? Instead of splashing cash in January. But I don't know what you think of that.
Well, look, your team, Leeds, have brought in a player on loan. So you mentioned loans earlier, but they brought in Alfonso Pedraza from Villarreal. Do you know much about him?
Do you know what? I don't know much about him, but I had a quick look at his YouTube, his videos before. I think he looks a decent player. He looks a decent player, you know. They say they rate him at 8.5 million for someone who's 20 years old. That's in the Spanish league.
I know he's done really well for the Spain under-19s, and he's going to get called up to under-23s. People are saying he's the Spanish Gareth Bale. You hear this all the time.
It was like Lugo, wasn't it?
Second Lugo. 6 goals, 8 assists, or something like that. From what I've seen of him, he's a very tricky, nimble winger. Yeah. Very much in the mould of like I don't know, dare I say, Jason Wilcox, you know.
Wilcox, gosh.
Steve Guppy?
No, I think he's better than Steve Guppy. But listen, at the end of the day, it's another signing that Gary Monk obviously knows about. I don't think he's in a situation where he's relying on other people to make signings for him. I think he's saying to the chairman, right, I want this player, I want that player. Maybe there's a chance that they were scouting him when he was at Swansea. You know, maybe he wanted to sign him back then, and obviously for whatever reason they didn't get him. But if he's as good as social media make him sound, then you've got a good player. And from what I understand, you're a bit struggling on with ways, aren't you?
I think what it is with the squad that we have now is I'm not going to lie, the squad's quite thin. We haven't got. I mean, we've got a good start on 11, but we haven't got anyone on the bench that can come on and change a game for us. That's how I look at it. I mean, January transfer window from a Leeds perspective is a good time to dip into the market, especially for loan players and stuff like that. You know, like I was saying before about fringe players. I mean, the players that we've got at the minute, we've got Saka, we've got Stuart Dallas, Northern Ireland International, we've got him. We've got Kamaru from Oxford, who's doing brilliant at the minute as well. I mean, Solomon Dakara, we're playing him as a winger. I mean, he's a striker. And, you know, we sold Alex Mowat to Barnsley as well. And he's a good player as well, Alex Mowat. He doesn't have... I think what Gary Monk's looking for is, I think he's looking for someone who's strong, who's got a good physique about him, and who's got a good bit of pace as well. And I think Alfonso Pereira, I think he fits in. From what I've heard, I think he fits in with, you know, with what his style of plays. You know what I mean? But I mean, we've got another player tonight from Swansea City. Is it Mo Barrow? Mo Barrow, is it?
Mo Barrow,
from Swansea City. Yeah, the winger. We've got him tonight in the last 45 minutes. From what I've seen, we've got him on loan as well. So that's another Gary Monk signing again from Swansea City. You know, so
I'm surprised.
But you know what? I think from a Leeds perspective, we need to add maybe two. I think we need another 3 or 4 players, from my personal point of view. 3 or 4 players, and I think that's the chance to say, right, let's go for it now. Let's get in the playoffs, all automatic, and let's seal this season. Let's do it this season. Do you know what I mean? But if we hadn't assigned any players tonight, then I think we would have struggled.
Absolutely. See, the thing is, I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, the Premier League doesn't seem to be the Premier League without Leeds United. I mean, it happened with last season with Sheffield Wednesday when they got to the final. I wanted them to win because Sheffield Wednesday belong in the Premier League. Leeds, are there any Yorkshire clubs in the Premier League now? I don't think so. The Hull?
The closest you get is Hull.
Hull. Only really, yeah. So, you know, again, your Leeds, you know, they're there from day dot. You know, they won the old Division 1 and then they moved into when it changed to the Premier League. You know what I mean? So it'll be good to see Leeds back, and obviously there's that rivalry with United as well. So, Man United, that is. So yeah, there's only one. Right. Let's wrap our show with one more quick story. I was going to talk about the goal line technology that's not being used in Spain and the spitting incident with Godin, but I think this story is actually much more, let's say, interesting. Now, have you ever heard of Gary White? Not Barry White, the singer. Gary White, does that name ring a bell?
Goalkeeper?
Not to my knowledge, no.
You're reading my script, aren't you? Well, Gary
White. I'm here focusing on. You got.
Well, Gary White is the goalkeeper of a non-league team called Shettleston Juniors. Now, he was sent off for urinating behind his goal. True story. Yeah.
He's taking the pee, innit?
He's taking the pee, yeah. Now, this is what he said. The ball went out for a goal kick. I shouted at the linesman and he shook his head. I told him I needed to pee, but he was not going to stop the game. I then jumped the fence behind my goal and went to the wall. I told him to stop the clock. I was bursting. I had to. I was away for about 2 minutes, and they sent him off for that.
Well done. Didn't the other team score?
No, I don't think so. Did they?
So what? So he's off the pitch for 2 minutes, and it's an empty goal, isn't it?
Well, maybe his team just like possession play. I don't know.
Was it Van Gaal the manager?
Listen, we've all been caught short sometimes, but come on, let's be 100% honest. Like, let the guy go. I mean, as you said, you got to go. You've got to go. Surely, as blokes, we understand these things. We show empathy. I mean, let's be 100% honest. How many times have you been out with your mates, you know, for a night on the piss, so to speak, and you know, we're going to go to the next pub, your next bar, and one of them is left behind. You're going to just leave him there, are you? You're going to wait for him to finish and you go, right?
Usually leave me, man.
When have I ever left you behind?
That's for another day.
I didn't leave you in a different city, did I, and drive back? This guy, he's making me sound like a rock. Ash, tell me, come on. Tell me a story. Tell me a urinating story.
No, I mean, I don't have stories like that.
It's something you hear about in
apart from when I'm on a night out, you know, if I'm drunk enough, then obviously.
This is something you hear about Sunday league football, isn't it? You're a little kid.
Listen,
Ref, I need to pee. You know?
See, this is the thing, right? Common sense is uncommon. This is the way I see it. And we keep talking about officials and the mistakes that they make every week. As I mentioned before, you know, got the blatant goal from Suarez the other night
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Yes.
The ball was 3 feet over the line. How the linesman or the fourth official or the third official, whatever you want to call them these days, assistants, didn't see it. Now, this is just someone that needs to urinate. They can't stop the game for literally 2 minutes. What if he went down though with an injury?
They would have stopped
the game. Mm. So what's the difference?
It's a hard one to say because we've never experienced the fact for someone to kind of put their hand up and go.
But other footballers haven't they? It's happened before.
Yeah, but footballers. Yeah, they'll just go to the dressing room. Yeah, they'll do what they've got to do and come back. I mean, I guess with the goalkeeper, it's...
And was this game so important? Let's be honest, it's a non-league game. It's not a World Cup final. Yeah. And to be fair, even if Buffon needed to slash, they'd stop the game, wouldn't they?
It's Buffon, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's there's no common sense, I guess. I know. You know. They're taking the geezer what?
Gary Lineker
30 seconds.
Gary Lineker did soil himself, didn't he, in the World Cup? Yeah, soiled himself.
Yeah. Thing is, if you've got to go, you've got to go.
Was that it?
If you've got to go, you've got to go.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Disgrace.
That's appalling.
And this is how we end the show, talking about
goalkeeper
missing. Yeah, that's fine. Brilliant. Well, Ash, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, buddy. I hope you can come back on again. You know, we can have another Leeds United post-mortem. Let's just hope they're not going to lose next time.
No, what, tomorrow? We've got Billy Blackburn tomorrow. You know what? Nice guys. It's nice. It's been nice having you on here. Definitely.
Cheers, mate. Well, look, before I let you go, do you want to tell our listeners your mind you, I was going to say give our listeners your Twitter handle because they're probably watching this for you, not for us. So we should be giving them out.
Not for me. They're watching it for everything. So.
Brilliant. Well, look, before I let you go again, mate, just like to say thanks again, and thanks to Jay for Lucky7 for giving us your time and allowing you to come on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, thank you guys. It's been a pleasure, to be honest.
Brilliant. Well, guys, give us a follow at Shoot the Defence. Ash, give us your handle, mate.
What do you want me to say?
What's your Twitter at? What's your Twitter at?
Oh, my Twitter. Yeah, if you want to follow me, guys, everyone that's watching me now, or the show, in fact, if you follow me at Ashley Griffith on Twitter, if you follow me on Facebook at Ashley Griffith, and I think my Instagram is probably the same as well as at Ashley Griffith, I think it is up top there. But yeah, just give me a follow. Give these guys a follow, Shoot Defence as well. And yeah, again, thank you for having me on the show, guys.
Been an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Well, look, just one more thing. Are you going to be doing any more Big Brother tweets?
No. No.
This is an off-show joke. Anyway, brilliant. Well, guys, thanks very much for tuning in, and we'll be back sometime. Take care.
Okay, guys.